to Conor. Shame on you. And shame on the ones that have ignored him.
Fight this weekend is off. Conor Benn against Chris Eubank Jr.
Just 3 days before the highly anticipated April 26th clash, Conor Benn shocked the boxing world by pulling out of his fight with Chris Eubank Jr., and Johnny Nelson did not hold back. In a scathing rant, Nelson ripped Benn's image to shreds, calling it the most disgraceful duck British boxing has seen in years. "This isn't just a pullout, it's a betrayal," Nelson fumed. Benn didn't step away, he ran scared. He accused Benn of crumbling under real pressure, saying the fighter couldn't handle a legitimate challenge when it stared him in the face. And when fans needed him to stand tall, Benn vanished. Nelson wasn't
Stage with this fight as well, of it not happening.
Done. He lit into the timing of the withdrawal, claiming Benn waited until the hype reached a fever pitch, tickets sold, cameras rolling, fans all in, and then walked away. According to Nelson, this wasn't misfortune. This was deliberate. "Benn's no warrior," he said. "He's a walking scandal." This latest fiasco comes with yet another drug test controversy swirling around Benn, fueling more backlash. Nelson slammed the excuse, calling it weak and calculated. "You don't get to play the victim when you're the one burning the house down."
Chris Eubank Jr. against Conor Benn has been officially postponed,
he said. He humiliated the sport at a time when boxing needed a boost, not another scandal. Chris Eubank Jr., who remained committed and prepared throughout, earned Nelson's full support. Chris showed up. He stayed clean. He stayed ready, Nelson emphasized. He's the true professional here. He deserves better than being dragged through Benn's chaos. Eddie Hearn, once Benn's most vocal defender, finally lost patience. After standing by Benn through 2 failed drug tests, even he snapped. In a rare move, Hearn publicly distanced himself, calling the situation an embarrassment to the sport. He praised Eubank Jr. for maintaining discipline, while Benn, he said, turned everything into chaos. "This isn't just a cancelled fight," Hearn said. "This is career suicide, live in front of the whole world." The backlash only intensified when Eubank Jr. broke his silence. He didn't mince words. Conor disappeared. No call, no accountability, just vanished, Chris said. After all the trash talk, all the build-up, when it mattered most, he folded like paper. Calling the pullout an act of fear, Eubank Jr. said fans were robbed of a proper showdown. "I stayed clean, I stayed locked in, and he ran," he stated. "This isn't just disappointing. It's disrespectful to every fan, every promoter, and everyone who believed in this fight. What was supposed to be a war turned into wreckage. The trust in Conor Benn..."
It was very disappointing, and obviously I was very shocked with what I saw because
"Benn may be permanently broken. With Nelson, Hearn, and Eubank Jr. all turning on him, the boxing world is left asking, is this the end of Conor Benn's career? Drop your thoughts below, because this story's not over, but Benn's credibility might be. Adam Smith didn't mince words when addressing the chaos surrounding Conor Benn's withdrawal from the April 26th fight against Chris Eubank Jr. In a blistering takedown, Smith declared that boxing has no room for drug cheats or fighters who vanish under pressure. "The sport is bigger than any one man," he said, adding that those who stain its reputation with failed drug tests or cowardly pullouts don't belong in the ring. Smith blasted Benn for backing out at the final hour, claiming it was clear to anyone watching. Conor Benn was scared.
"Believe that he's been caught not once but twice, then take his license away."
The pressure got to him, Smith said. Instead of rising to the occasion, he ran. And with 2 failed drug tests already on Benn's record, Smith insisted there must be consequences. Boxing can't allow this behavior to slide. Not now. Not ever. Calling Benn's actions a disgrace, Smith stressed that the integrity of the sport is at stake. Fighters who cheat or fold can't be allowed back in without repercussions, and Benn, he believes, has crossed that line. But the storm didn't stop there. Duke McKenzie unleashed his own barrage of brutal honesty, tearing into Benn with zero mercy. In what may be the most scathing criticism yet, Duke accused Benn of manipulating the system, calling his withdrawal a coward's exit strategy, not a moment of panic.
He'd been caught twice for doing the same thing. So, if it was me, take his license away. You know, because you cannot cheat in the sport of boxing.
But a deliberate act to dodge exposure. He didn't just fold, he crumbled, Duke snapped. This wasn't fear of Eubank. It was fear of what would come out if he stepped into that ring. McKenzie pointed to Benn's repeated drug test failures, saying they weren't accidents, they were part of a pattern. He demanded that the British Boxing Board revoke Benn's license permanently, warning that any return to the sport would destroy boxing's credibility. This man spit on the rules and mocked every clean fighter in the game, Duke said. He's not just a problem, he's an infection that needs cutting out before it poisons the whole sport. For McKenzie, this wasn't just another boxing controversy. It was a defining moment. This was humiliating.
The British Boxing Board of Control are not happy to go through with the fight because he has failed his drugs test,
he said. And now boxing must make an example out of him. No second chances. No redemption arc. As Smith and McKenzie's voices echo across the sport, the spotlight now turns to Spencer Oliver, who's preparing to weigh in with his own explosive verdict. The storm around Conor Benn is growing louder by the hour, and it's becoming increasingly clear. This wasn't just a fight cancellation. It's a reckoning. Conor Benn didn't just walk away from a fight. He lit a fuse that may burn down what's left of his reputation. And if the sport doesn't act, it might take boxing with it. Spencer Oliver didn't hold back when addressing the chaos surrounding the cancellation of the highly anticipated clash between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr.
I was actually upset. I felt disrespected that this young punk, that's how I felt at the time.
In a searing takedown, Spencer placed full responsibility on Benn, exposing the hard truth. The British Boxing Board of Control refused to sanction the fight after Benn once again failed a drug test. The result? A total meltdown just days before the main event. This wasn't a pullout, Spencer said. It was a scandal, plain and simple. He called Benn's actions disgraceful, accusing him of humiliating the sport on a global stage. For Spencer, this wasn't just a missed opportunity. It was a betrayal of every fan who believed in the fight and was ready for war. He made it clear the cancellation was a direct result of Benn's dirty legacy, and boxing is now left picking up the pieces. But the verbal assault...
Taking the decision to formally postpone the bout between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, it is undeniable...
didn't stop there. Adam Catterall stepped in with fire of his own, doubling down on the criticism. He scorched Benn for destroying one of the most anticipated matchups in recent memory. Standing firmly behind Chris Eubank Jr., Adam pointed out that this wasn't bad luck. It was pure negligence. Benn failed the tests, Benn caused the drama, and Benn walked away when it was time to face the consequences, Adam said. He highlighted how broadcasters, promoters, and fans were left scrambling, blindsided by the collapse. This wasn't just a cancelled fight. It was a demolition of trust and credibility, Adam added. Meanwhile, Eubank Jr. remained focused, professional, and fully prepared. One man kept his head down and trained like a warrior. The other ran from the heat. Chris Eubank Jr. himself broke his silence and unleashed raw emotion. Furious and deeply insulted, Chris called the last-minute withdrawal more than just disappointing. He called it disrespectful. "I trained clean. I stayed ready. And this is how the sport repays me?" he said. For Eubank, it was a spit in the face of boxing itself. Chris didn't mince words. This wasn't a professional decision. It was fear, plain and simple. He promised this won't be forgotten. It's personal now. And when the time comes, I'll make Benn pay. In the ring. With Spencer Oliver, Adam Catterall, and Chris Eubank Jr. all speaking out, one thing is clear. Conor Benn didn't just pull out of a fight. He ignited a firestorm of backlash that may forever tarnish his name. Was this a cowardly move by Benn? A mistake too big to recover from? Or is there still a way back? Drop your thoughts below. The boxing world is watching.